8, I was confused being called bossy because I wanted to direct the plays that we would put on for our parents, but the boys were not. When at 14, I started to be sexualized by certain elements of the media. When at 15, my girlfriends started dropping out of their beloved sports teams because they didn't want to appear muscly. When at 18, my male friends were unable to express their feelings. I decided that I was a feminist, and this seemed uncomplicated to me. But my recent research has shown me that feminism has become an unpopular word. Women are choosing not to identify as feminist. Apparently, I am among the ranks of women whose expressions are seen as too strong, too aggressive, isolating, and anti-men, unattractive even. Why has the word become such an uncomfortable one?
It's become uncomfortable because women have made it uncomfortable. The movement is uncomfortable for men, and women don't like the pushback that men are giving. So now it's like, why don't you like me? Why do you see me as bossy? It's because you're misogynistic. This isn't feminist, but maybe you were bossy. Maybe you individually were bossy and the men weren't. Maybe they were more cooperative.
Emma Watson has brass ones to get up there at the UN and say things like, "I think it is right that I am paid the same as my male counterparts." Emma Watson made $70 million from the Harry Potter films by the time she was 20. She whines about being afforded the same respect socially as men. She's a freaking A-list rich 1% star. Who doesn't respect her socially? And the worst of it? She turned on J.K. Rowling, a feminist who made her rich and famous, for her stance on protecting women's rights being undermined by trans activism, in order to maintain her lifestyle and to keep from being cancelled. I love how pampered Hollywood artists who grew up on privilege and have never seen hardship or suffering firsthand are always the first ones to tell us how we need to act. Women brought everything they're going through right now on themselves, and now demand that men bail them out for the irresponsible decisions they made. Not my problem, Emma. She literally threw under a bus one of the most heroically successful self-made women in history, whose work not only changed the world, but gave Emma Watson an iconic, positive, intelligent, resourceful, and courageous female character to play that inspired a generation of girls who saw themselves in Hermione. I call BS, and I think actors should just act and stay out of politics. She denounces typical male preferences, and yet she has dated many tall, popular, wealthy, and masculine men over the years out in public. Why not publicly date short, effeminate, and broke men while assuming the provider role from the millions she made in acting? Not exactly walking the talk. Since women are pushing so hard for men to feel free to be more sensitive and caring, we men should push for women to be more logical and level-headed. The most generous definition that fits with reality would be that feminism is a female advocacy movement. So why not come out and say that? To me, the answer is simple: framing. Once you accept that a female advocacy movement exists, it becomes all but impossible to deny that a male advocacy movement should also exist. Framing feminism as an equality movement instead creates a frame in which any true male advocacy movement must therefore be an inequality movement. Feminism is like the end of the Hunger Games when the districts wanted to put the capital into another Hunger Games to punish them. Feminism punishes men because they feel like they have to be above them for the sins of past men that aren't alive or even affected. If you look at the video and listen to her speech, it's funny how in one breath she complains about women being sexualized, and in the next, she complains she is no longer seen as attractive. This argument always comes up from feminists. They want you to look while they practically wear nothing, but not in that way. Appreciate, but don't desire. They're allowed to strip and do what they want when and where they want. But don't men dare enjoy it or look at them? This hyperbolic meeting of both ends of the spectrum has shattered the middle ground between men and women. At the end of the day, feminism is unnecessarily divisive and just another lazy form of tribalism. When feminists want to cancel women, men will just drop out of dealing with you. Take all the drama out of life as much as you can. When this woman can build the building she is standing in, and the mic she is talking on, and the chairs people are sitting on, and make and lay the carpet on the floor. Talk to me about the genders being the same. We are both different, and that's a good thing. Emma Watson's opening statement caught my attention, but 100% lost when she continued. This obsession with what the other side is doing is so insidious to these kinds of females. Their parents never told them to never worry about what another person has on their plate, only if they have enough. Her mindset seems so lost and closed off to what's going on, like she locked herself in her own little echo chamber and now wondering why in her self-sabotaging pursuit. Men are tired of this men not being able to be sensitive narrative just because we choose to show and deal with it in other ways. The thing Emma mentions quite frequently is, I have seen men go through this. Yes, but did you experience it from their perspective? Did you actually ask penetrative questions about how the man actually felt, mentally and physically, about what was causing them to want to commit suicide? No, because we are not allowed to express it, and similarly to how women want to vent, but not be given a logical solution. We don't want to vent our desperation to live a happy life, coming across as weak, a burden, and incapable, for it to be dismissed by the women in our life, and to be told, you're not giving us good energy, and you just need to think of it in a happier way. We have to walk a very fine line every single day in regards to not being offensive, staying cool, calm, not aggressive, compassionate, balanced, not a burden in any form, not weak, because that affects our relationship with women regardless of him being taken or not. Being capable of a progressive debate, and at the same time, loving, caring, and showing support for our loved ones, regardless of our thoughts and feelings. Whilst women usually think that it's a clear-cut situation to resolve, there's a multitude of things that men do mental gymnastics about on a frequent hourly basis. That's why we get exhausted so quickly, but nobody wants to know or see that. They would rather just keep shooting at us and expect us to change these habits, even though we are not allowed to express ourselves how we choose to. This is why men frequently struggle to express themselves verbally to anyone else, but we all have that mutual understanding that we know what we are going through. So although Emma may have seen what was going on, she hasn't experienced why it's happening. I believe that right now, we're in the age of woman. As the pendulum swings from a previously male-oriented system, it's going to take some time for us to achieve balance and have a system that's based on nature. What I find annoying about feminist arguments is, like she said, feminism is about the political and economic equality in rights between men and women. Equal rights explicitly mean equality of opportunity, just as Jordan Peterson puts it. She then claims as grievances that her classmates chose to act in a stereotypical gender-normative fashion, as if that isn't an expression of equal rights. It is this commingling of the issues of equal rights with the social constructivist goals of equal outcomes. Women have had the same equality of opportunities for decades. If they can meet the physical, medical, and mental/intelligence requirements to perform that work, they can get that job. I am tired of these continued speeches that they are still held down. You just have to go out there, like men do, and fight for the job you want. Men are not just given jobs. We go out there and fight for them. So belly up to the bar and start fighting and asking for things to be given to you. And guess what? If you do not get that job, maybe you were not qualified for that job. It's not hard to see that women wanted opportunities and benefits they perceived men to be enjoying. Not equal responsibilities, though. They achieved that, but they're not done. Now, women want to get even. They want men today to pay for any benefits men exclusively had, but in fact, did not benefit today's men. Examples can be found in employment, family courts, society in general, and in personal relationships. Equality? I don't think so. Feminism has been achieved. It is an objective goal, and we can measure it. All laws and opportunities are now equal. It is done. We cannot make people choose what we want for them, however. It's a pointless crusade now. One thing that people can do to understand all of this better is to study sociology. Social class is the biggest divide in terms of privilege, and always has been. Emma Watson comes from the top 0.1% of the UK's class system. This is especially in the UK. I'm sure the guy that came from a council estate in southeast London or housing projects for any Americans reading this has the same opportunities as Emma Watson, privately educated and from a very wealthy and well-connected family. Thanks for watching Man Reacts. Show us your love and support by liking this video, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. Support us and help us spread support for men around the world. Do comment and share your thoughts. We're always up for a healthy debate and discussion.